Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Punaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadidamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Behind every path your life has taken you on is a decision that was first motivated through your intuitive voice. At the time that you made the choice, you felt on some level that that particular path was right for you. Can you trust this? In today's episode, I'm going to discuss why I'm a healer and what this path may mean for you if you are drawn into this world of healing. Namaste and welcome to the Spiritual Wealth Podcast. I'm your host, Alexandra Savitri Amba, director of the American Reiki Academy, Los Angeles' oldest Reiki school, and the Vedic Healing Center. I'm a Reiki master, Vedic Healing master, clairaudient channel, and healer. For over 35 years, I've taught thousands of people healing and spiritual self-development, and also led pilgrimages to India, where I've studied with blessed teachers and gurus. In this show, we cover topics related to metaphysics, Reiki, Vedic healing, manifestation, spiritual growth, and feng shui, based upon my studies and work in these disciplines. The aim of this show is to help you awaken, develop, and tap into your spiritual power in order that you may live well, manifest your dreams, and ultimately fulfill your unique divine purpose by working from the inside out. It all starts with energy. Welcome to today's episode, which is a bit of a personal episode, perhaps something I haven't quite shared in detail, and that is why I'm a healer, why I became a healer, and how this may relate to you if you are considering learning Reiki and stepping into the healing arts. So, what I wrote down this morning is this phrase: behind every path your life has taken you on is a decision that was motivated through your intuitive voice. So at the time you made the decision or the choice, you felt on some level that that path was right for you. This is how I came to Reiki, because there was no real rhyme or reason on an intellectual level, we could say. And my challenge to you, or the question I'd like for you to consider, is: can you trust this intuitive voice? We all get these moments when we are being kind of led in a certain direction, and many times we don't understand these directions or this guidance until years later. But looking back, we begin to see why. We begin to see the path and how it unfolded, like that yellow brick road. We see it behind us, and we see where it was taking us. So my path to Reiki, when I look back now, I can see that my own path was leading me somewhere that I could not yet see. Of course, this is very appropriate because we can never really see that far in front of us. There are going to be naturally twists and turns and mysteries that unfold along the way. It's like we're taking a journey and we can only see a certain distance in front of us. But for a point of reference here, specifically about me, my life before Reiki was a very traditional life with a traditional courses of studies. And Reiki appeared in my life again through my intuition just leading me. I was led to a woman who was a healer. And when I say led, I found a business card with her name on it. I thought the business card was intriguing, and I began getting healing sessions with her, and then decided I wanted to learn Reiki. I cannot tell you that I decided this was going to be a major part of my life, or this was going to be a career direction for me or a life path. I just was following the guidance. This felt expansive. It felt nurturing. It felt loving. It felt interesting. It felt mystical. It felt powerful. It tapped into my intuitive healing abilities that were really lying dormant as they are in all of us. And when I say healing abilities, these are also intuitive abilities, psychic perceptions, which we all have. And I found that the more I moved into these realms of healing and metaphysics. Metaphysics means beyond the physical plane. The more I felt expanded and light, and I felt hopeful and excited. I felt like I was tapping into something really extraordinary and mysterious, but also familiar. And I always tell people, working with healing energy, unseen energies, is something we have done before. So often it feels very familiar. And I really think that when you decide you want to move into healing work, maybe you get a healing like I did. You get a Reiki session or some kind of body work session. It doesn't have to be in Reiki. And you say, I want to understand this ability to heal and help others with my hands. When this happens to you, it's not really something you all of a sudden do. Although there's the practice of Reiki once you learn, yes, I'm doing Reiki on someone, but it's kind of an energy that merges with you, and it becomes a way of understanding life. I always tell people Reiki is a modality. It's a technique, but it's also an energy, and the energy opens up awarenesses, insights. It deepens your connection with the divine wisdom. It opens energy centers in your body, the chakras, which I'm sure you've heard of, and it starts to teach you. So that's why I said it's not something necessarily that I do, although I am doing a healing session on someone. It's instead kind of a way of interacting with life through the energetic world. You might hear me speak about energy a lot in this podcast. So there's the energy of a space. There's the energy that you feel when you interact with someone. There's the energy behind everything. Everything is energy. Everything starts as energy, and then it becomes a physical object if it's destined to become a physical object. So, for instance, the energy of love is not destined necessarily to become an object, but you can feel the energy of love between two people. So, why I'm a healer, I fell into, stepped into, moved into this path of wanting to help others through Reiki because I was following an intuitive voice that said, this feels very intriguing and very right for me. Somehow. As I said, it was very different from what I was doing before, from the intellectual pursuits. I was studying English and I was getting a master's degree in English and I was teaching English literature. So moving into this whole other realm was very magical, but also very familiar to me. And it gave me the opportunity to help people in a beautiful manner. And another aspect of Reiki is that it gives you the ability to learn about yourself through service. No matter how you are suffering, I would suggest that someone else is suffering more. And so being a healer asks you if you can step outside of your own pain and be of service to someone else. This is an incredible aspect of being a healer. Reiki essentially helps us to open the heart so that you can step outside of your own pain and suffering and problems and obstacles and be of service to someone else in that moment, let's say in the moment of doing a healing. So being of service is a fascinating experience because it directly softens the ego. Really, it dissolves the ego. And in dissolving the ego, you become expanded. You really step into the light, the essence that you are. So far away from the physical considerations, the mental and emotional upsets you have, and all the kind of machinations of this world and the problem solving and the struggles and challenges. You move into a softer but more expanded sense. This is you as a light being, still living in this physical body, but touching that essence of who you are. And it's a little hard to describe maybe, but I hope that you are understanding this. Healing is never one-sided. It's not me doing something to someone else. It's me being of service and transmitting energy, acting as the vessel, the channel for healing energy to flow through me. And in such a way, it gives you this beautiful experience of being of service. And I also said it opens the heart. Now, why would we want to open the heart? Isn't your heart already there? It's functioning, it's beating, it's sustaining your life. But the heart goes way beyond the physical organ. What I'm referring to is an energy in your field. The heart chakra is what I'm talking about. Opening the heart is the only way to live. It's the highest way to live. It's something we want to aspire to. And when you are doing Reiki, you move into a space of opening the heart. You feel great compassion, great forgiveness. You feel a sense of being present. You feel a stillness. You feel a generosity of spirit. And you feel a great empathy for really all of humanity, but it starts with you doing healing sessions on yourself or on others. And sometimes it's quite remarkable. You're doing a session on someone else, and you may not even know the person very well, and perhaps he or she came to you and shared something before the session, and then you go to, and maybe it was something painful, something they're suffering with, a problem, and then you go to do Reiki on them, and you see them breathing, and you see or perceive their upset or their struggle or something. You sense this pain and suffering in their energy field. And again, maybe they've shared with you beforehand, but when you're working with Reiki, you're then really in the energy field and feeling it. It's not just an intellectual exchange. So someone can say to you, oh, I'm suffering with this problem, and you can receive that on an intellectual level. You can also feel it in your heart, but then when you're doing Reiki on them, you really feel it. You just really feel it. And you feel it so profoundly that you also feel the interconnectedness and the oneness of all of humanity. You feel the sameness between the two of you. Their problems no longer seem outside of you when you're immersed in their energy field. And Reiki naturally develops these qualities in you, this forgiveness, this compassion, this living from your intuition rather than from a fearful space. I said to you in the beginning that I learned Reiki because I followed my intuition. I followed my intuition. I have it's a little card that I had on my desk for many years, and it's a little girl running away from home. Maybe not running away. She's got her little sack on a stick over her shoulder, and she's walking, and she's at a crossroads, and it says at the crossroads, the path that she's walking onto says your life with an arrow, and the other path, imagine like a street sign with two signs, two street signs. So could be Madison Avenue and Fifth Avenue. So hers says your life, and she's walking on that path with an arrow. And the other one says no longer an option. And I always look at that. For many years I looked at it, and I've thought a lot about my life had I taken a different turn. But what I always come back to is that the direction I went in was motivated by an internal force guiding me, and that was my intuitive voice. And this intuitive voice may be very clear, or sometimes it's not that clear. Like we don't know why, but we say, I think I have to follow this. Or sometimes it's very clear, I must follow this. I know I must go in this direction. So whether it seems clear or unclear, it's always communicating with you. So your life is what you have chosen, and what you haven't chosen is no longer an option. Of course, you always have the chance to pick up other things that you say, wait, I always wanted to do such and such. So it doesn't mean everything is lost, but to really embrace where your intuition is leading you. And this is one of the gifts of working with Reiki and your whole spiritual practice, because it opens up this brilliant awareness that this is the right path for you, no matter what maybe other people are saying or the outside world is viewing your choices as. So Reiki helps you develop these beautiful qualities, your open heart, a compassionate nature, forgiveness, being present, being really tuned in to someone else, and living from intuition rather than from fear. Because fear is going to ask you not to do something. It's going to say, oh, that seems scary, so you better not do that. But your intuition is going to say, go over here. You may not know all the answers, but this is the direction to follow. So your intuition will whisper to you. Now, Reiki is also my teacher. Reiki is a guide. Every session I do improves my being. I said it expands my intuition, it deepens my awareness of self, of others, of spirit. Again, Reiki is a technique, but it's also an energy. You're tapping into this energy and acting as the vessel, the channel for this energy to flow through. I often tell people it's like liquid light energy or liquid love energy flowing through you. And this experience continues to teach me. With every person I work on, I say, oh, this is what this session is providing for me. I heard somebody years ago say, he was a Reiki master, and he said, once you become a Reiki master, you need not do healings anymore. You're now, your function is to teach. But I never felt that way. I always felt that if I stop doing healings, I will lose connection with this craft, with this art form, with this modality, with this energy. And so I've always continued to do healing sessions and to teach. So what might all of this mean for you? Perhaps you're wondering, what does this have to do with me? Maybe you're considering Reiki because you're searching for something. Maybe you've reached a certain crossroads at your life. Maybe your intuition has been trying to get your attention. And again, you don't need to know why you're being led in a direction. Reiki may become part of your path as a practitioner, or perhaps you're being called to simply experience Reiki. And in experiencing it, it may be an opportunity simply to still down, to reconnect with peace, to reconnect with presence, to reconnect with breath. I received and still do receive forms of body work, including Reiki, on a regular basis, because I know how important it is to work with this body in different ways that go beyond the intellect. So I can't think my way out of certain situations, but I can, for sure, body work my way out. Does that make sense? I know I can receive some body work and get some movement in a certain area of my life. And I also know which types of body work will serve me at different times. Reiki, I would say, will always serve me. It is always beneficial. Whereas, and I never put down other forms of body work. I never say one is superior to another, but I'm going to give you a little example. So for instance, if you've injured yourself, and let's say you had a massage scheduled, but you injured your back, massage would be contraindicated in that moment if you have an injury. Not always, but sometimes it will be. It would be more advantageous to wait till the inflammation goes down or whatever is going on with you. Massage would not be beneficial in that time. So as a healer, remember I said, doing Reiki develops your intuition too. So having the insight and the intuitive knowledge to know what is appropriate at all times in your life. All times, meaning, hopefully we aspire to that. But of course, there are times where we say, I should have really done something else. I shouldn't have done that. I should have, done this other thing. But that's okay. We also say no, shoulda, woulda, coulda. There are just choices. There's no wrong choice. So really understanding that this energy is going to teach us, it's going to give us insights. And the more you receive Reiki, the more you become tuned in, tapped in to your intuitive voice. And then if you take the next step and decide to learn Reiki, it will even deepen that connection. And then, of course, when you apply Reiki, because you don't just learn it and then do nothing with it, when you apply it and start working with it, it will really start to hone that ability. So let me ask you, as we kind of close this, see if you get an answer to this. What has your intuition been telling you lately? When I say that, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Usually that is an intuitive message coming to you. And then we discount it. We override it with the intellect. I'm going to phrase this another way. Is there something you've known for a long time but have been afraid to follow? Some little nagging, either a suspicion or a nagging message. I sometimes tell people that your intuition taps you on the shoulder. It whispers to you too, but it taps you. And sometimes it keeps tapping you until you pay attention. And hopefully we don't need to be hit over the head by a message. We are aware enough that we can discern the message and then act upon it. Sometimes we need to hear it a few times. So we need to get tapped on the shoulder a few times. So is there something you've known for a long time but have been afraid to follow? Now, even when I say this, I'm thinking immediately, I'm thinking of the answer that's coming to me in my life. And when I say I'm thinking of it, I'm not really thinking. Thinking is intellectual. I'm receiving it. See, your intuition speaks to you in hits. You get a hit about something. It's like a download, like a spark. Like, as I said, it could be a whisper or a tap on the shoulder. It could be a vision. It could be just a feeling inside of you, or a message. And I did another episode, I think, I can't remember what it was entitled, but I challenged people in it, soft challenge always. Can you really listen to your intuition and act upon it? I'll have to go back and see what the title of that episode was. But it was about really following your intuitive voice. So when you get a message, oh, I need to do such and such, that's often coming from your intuition. You feel like it comes from left field. And these intuitive messages also, I'm going to say this, they come to you when you are in a relaxed state. And this is one of the reasons we meditate, and one of the reasons that Reiki opens your intuition, because you're in such a peaceful state when you're doing Reiki. So the messages readily pour into your energy field. See, you can operate just through your intellect. You can just be very tuned into your mental body and do everything from your mental body. Someone who's a scientist is employing a great deal of mental power, and this is brilliant. It's wonderful. I won't say scientists don't use their intuition. I won't say that. But everybody uses their intuition. But the scientist is employing a great deal of mental activity. And the focus is on the mental body. A meditator is going 100, I was going to say 10 steps or one step, that I said 100 or 1,000 steps beyond that. You are tapping into your super conscious mind, or power, this light that exists within you. It's way beyond the intellect, way beyond the intellect. So is there something you've known for a long time, known, not thought, oh, I think I should do this, known? Because see, the thought may come after the knowingness. But is there something you've known for a long time that you've been afraid to follow? I said in that other episode that I made a vow to myself that I made this years ago, and I announced it. I don't know why, but I announced it at one of the group gatherings I was holding. It was a meditation and chanting gathering. And I announced to the group that I'm now doing everything my intuition tells me to do. They probably thought I was crazy, or they said, oh, well, why is she telling us this? But I don't know why, I felt like I wanted to tell them that. And I have maintained that focus, that promise, that commitment. Now, does it mean that I always act immediately? No, of course not. We get busy. But I know I got that message. I need to act on it. And that's how your intuition speaks to you. It's quiet. It's sure. and it just feels right. It resonates in your system. And the third question is, what would happen if you trusted your intuition? How would your life be if you trusted it? How would your life look? How would it be? What magic would happen? So if you can start pondering these questions, then they will kind of give back to you, and they will enable you to step into a little bit more magical way of being, a metaphysical way of being. Beyond this physical plane, there is great power, there is great light, there is great presence. And this is what we're tapping into when we do healing work, when we work with energy, something that most people cannot see. I say most people because we also develop the ability to see energy, which is for another episode. So ask yourself some of those questions today and see what comes to you. And in looking back at my own life and my journey, I've been doing Reiki now for more than 35 years. I would not have had this life any other way. Are there other choices I could have made? Of course. Of course. In any given moment, there are millions, probably, I don't know how many, millions, trillions of choices, of possibilities. And so we select the one. As I said at the very beginning of this episode, I said that every path your life has taken you on comes from a decision that was motivated through your intuitive voice. And at the time you made the choice, you felt on some level that that path was right for you. And what happens when you start living like this is you develop a great trust in yourself and a great compassion and a great forgiveness also for yourself. So there's never any regret. Oh, I should have done this. Oh, what if I had done that? Well, what if? But you didn't. So here you are. Here you are now. And so can you stand in where you are right now and trust that all of the decisions you have made have been important for you, have been wise? Yes, wise. Even the ones you think were mistakes. Can you trust that your intuition was guiding you? Every decision has taught you something about compassion. For me, with Reiki, it has taught me about living in service, about feeling the connectedness amongst everyone. And these are some of the reasons I've chosen to become a healer and to remain a healer. And this is a glimpse, I guess I would say, of what I believe Reiki holds for you. Yes, it's a modality. Yes, it's a technique. Yes, you can incorporate it with other healing methods. But when you go deep into it, it gives you so many beautiful gifts that I felt it was important to kind of give words to in this episode. So whether Reiki becomes part of your journey or not, I hope this episode encourages you at least to trust that quiet inner voice a little more and to be very kind very loving, very compassionate, very peaceful, very gentle with yourself. You are precious. You are precious. And when we do healing work, if you choose to learn Reiki or you receive Reiki, you feel that preciousness amongst us all. You feel so deeply and so beautifully. And you start to understand, maybe, some of the mystery around why we are here. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Om Sai Ram. Jai Guruji. Om Amriteshwari Namaha. Hare Krishna. Om Namah Shivaya.